Okay.
Okay,
I can
so now
send you both of our timetables if you like. I can send you our timetables for
yeah,
group
yeah,
one and group two.
No, no, it's not
perfect.
'I'll
9:30.
send them through Messenger, okay?
It's at
Okay,
11.
We
yeah.
will make a group on Messenger and keep us updated.
Yes, it's perfect. You can have a group on Messenger, group one and two together, and we can fix the time together. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'd like you to please you stop your webcams and microphones, and now I'm going to share the screen with you, and you are going to take the sheets of paper that I have already sent you. Okay. Is it
Okay.
clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Yes. Yes, Marwa. Shahir, yes, Shahir. Yeah, yeah. Yes, of course. Yes, 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 of course. I'm going to record it. Just a minute. Yeah, of course, of course. Okay, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to share the screen with you. Um, can you see the screen? Can you see
No.
my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And is it okay? No? Can you see the
Yes.
screen? Okay, and I have already sent you the document, okay, last night. Okay, so let's start. Today we'll talk about managing versus leading, okay? And normally people use these two words interchangeably. However, they are completely different, okay? So what is management and what is leadership? Any answer? What is management? Yeah. Yes, someone to answer? What is management?
Management has to do
Yes?
with organization,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and
So,
leading has to do with guidance.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So last time we talked about the functions of management, and we talked about planning. What else? Planning.
Organization.
Yes. Staffing, directing, and controlling. So last time we talked about the managerial functions, notably planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. And we said that management, it is basically something quantifiable. It has to do with planification, with organization, with staffing, with directing, and it has to do with the now, with something now. Is it clear?
Yes.
On the other hand, when we talk about leadership or leaders, it has to do with inspiring others, with motivation, with encouraging. Okay, we can take an example. So
It's a skill.
it's a skill, perfect. So I take the example of a teacher with the students, okay? Your teacher is the manager of the classroom, but some students consider their teachers as simple managers. Sorry. Some students consider their teachers as manager and leader at the same time. And on other instances, they consider the teacher just as a manager. Is it clear, the point?
Yes.
Yeah. So leadership is rather qualitative. It has to do with the future. Okay. And I can be your manager, but one of the student is your leader. So a manager is not necessarily a leader.
Leader.
Lead.
Okay. Is it clear? So,
Yes.
so leadership, here we can say that leadership begins where management ends. So let me explain. So when I say management, here it is something, as I said, quantifiable, organized, 1 + 1 = 2. I'm going to plan, then I'm going to organize, then I'm going to staff, to recruit. Then I'm going to direct, and finally, of course, I'm going to control. Okay, as if it is a mathematical equation. On the other hand, leadership, it is an art. It's a skill. It has to do with, let's say, catching the attention of others, inspiring them, motivating them. Here, you can attend the class and you are motivated. You are encouraged. You feel like studying because your teacher or your manager is a leader. And quite the opposite, you can attend, but just you attend for the sake of attendance because the manager is just a manager and not a leader. Is it clear?
Yes.
Just yeah. Any question? Okay. Okay. So here leadership and management. Okay. Someone to read. Yes. Do you see my screen?
Can I read?
Yeah. Do you
Yes.
see? Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
we
we
can.
can.
Yeah. Yes. 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 The floor is yours. Yes, lady.
Effective leadership is putting first things first.
Okay, so effective leadership. Can you read management first? I'd like you to read management. Yes.
Effective management is discipline, carrying it out.
Okay, so effective management is discipline. It's a carrying it out. So you are a manager by virtue of your what? Of your position. So your position allows you to be a manager. On the other hand, effective leadership is putting first things first. So you are a leader by virtue of what? Of your
Skills.
good, of your skills. Or you have something special that makes you a leader. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Someone could read? Yes. Someone else?
Can I read?
Someone else? Yes, lady.
Okay. Leadership is the process of motivation other people to act in particular ways in order to achieve specific goals.
Okay, so leadership is the process, and here we have the word motivation. I'm not going to oblige you. Okay, here there is a kind of motivation. You do things intuitively. Okay, you are motivated. You love the things. And if you talk about leadership, we talk about do we talk about logos or pathos? If you talk about leadership, is
Logos.
it
Logos. No,
logos?
No
pesos.
pesos.
No. Here,
No, pesos.
rhetoric. Yeah, when we talk about leadership and rhetorically speaking, leadership has to do with pathos, and pathos they have to do with emotions, with
The
the
heart.
yeah, the heart, with the olfactory appeal, everything that has to do with the heart, emotions, emotional intelligence. Okay, is it clear?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Carry on, please.
Leadership is a willingness to accept responsibility and ability to develop three major skills.
Mhm.
Elicit the cooperation of others, listen
So
well.
yeah, so we have three major skills. The first one, elicit the cooperation of others. I'm going to elicit implicitly. I'm going to ask for your cooperation. I'm not egocentric, but I'd like you to cooperate to help me. Teamwork, team building, etc. Then, second skill,
Listen well.
listening well. And here we talk about
Active. Active listening.
active listening. Okay, and yeah, this is one of the skills that pertains to leadership. Then,
Place the
place.
needs
Yes,
of
yes.
others above your
Uh,
own needs.
just a minute. I accept someone has joined. Just yeah. Okay. Yes. Carry on.
Could
Yes.
you get back to the screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, place the needs of others above your own needs. That can be
Okay.
acquired
So
through
here
practice.
through practice. Okay. So here we have three major skills. First of all, eliciting cooperation, and here we talk about team building, teamwork, etc. Then active listening, and the third skill is avoiding egocentrism. You must be place the needs
Spices.
of others. Yeah, extroverted. You accept the other. You place the needs of the other above your own needs. Is it clear? So leadership is something acquired. Is it innate? Do you think that leadership is innate?
Nope.
Is it
It is
something
acquired through experiences, through dealing with
exactly,
people, dealing with everything in your life. You cannot be
exactly,
born with it.
exactly? So you see, it is an acquired skill. Okay.
Yeah.
So, leadership is a set of skills and traits that can be learned and worked on. And especially, we talk about worked on. You can develop your leadership skills via soft skill, via courses in soft skills, communication, etc. Yet, the general perceptions is that good leaders are not scarce, they are scarce. Is it frequent to find good leaders? Is it frequent?
No.
Can
No,
Rare.
everybody be a leader?
no,
No.
No, it's
No. What does it
Personally,
require? Yes,
it
what does it
requires
require, leadership?
it
special
requires some
Specific skills.
Some skills.
Yes, skills. Like, for example, give me the skills that we may need for
Problem
leadership.
solving.
Problem
list.
solving, yes.
Self-confidence.
Yeah, basically, no, both.
No.
Hard? No.
soft
Soft
and hard
one.
skills.
Skills.
Everyone needs hard skills. That's not something that we should include. That is something that is given, I think.
Yeah. So yeah. So here, when you talk about soft skills and hard skills, there is a kind of complementarity between both. Okay, but basically nowadays we talk about soft skills. Leadership requires soft skills. Okay, because in the past, what mattered most were what?
The hard skills.
Hard
The hard
skills,
skills. Yes.
your diplomas. Now there is a big major change. So basically, we focus on the soft skills. You see? So leaders come and guide. Leaders may rise only in response to a situation. Here, let me explain. Sometimes you work in a company, you have a manager, but one of you becomes a leader in a given situation. Okay? Can you give me an example? Okay? Can you give me an example?
He solves the problem.
So you have, let's say, for example, you have been working in company X for 5 years, and you were just a normal person. You were a subordinate, and then all of a sudden you become a leader. How is that? How is that? So here,
when you
you,
come up with a
yeah,
effective idea.
You have developed certain soft skills.
yes, you have developed soft skills, and the company needs your soft skills, that specific soft skills. So here, as a conclusion, leaders may rise only in response to a given situation. Okay, leaders may be unwanted until needed. So they have a skill, but we do not use it. Then all of a sudden, you need that specific skills. Then finally, leaders may be mistaken for managers, and now it's clear. So the issue, so now you know the difference between both managers and leaders. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. What is the
So a
difference?
manager must be a leader,
Yes,
but
sir.
so a manager must be a leader.
A
Although a
manager?
leader, it's a manager must
Yes,
be a leader for one of
yes,
these skills that is supposed that he's supposed to have.
yes.
But a leader, it's not something that is needed, or it's not something that is.
So a leader does not require to be a manager. Yes, exactly. So here, a manager can be a leader, but a leader is not necessarily a manager. Is it clear?
Yes.
Is it the
Yes.
point? Okay. So here, any one of us can be a leader. Okay. You do not require to be a manager in order to be a leader. So here, leadership is a skill that is developed over time, and anyone can be a leader. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now I need two students. One is going to say, for example, X says reads manager and the other leader. And in parallel, yes, for manager, who is going to be the manager? Yes,
I can read.
Can
yes, your name, sir?
Ihab.
Ihab, a manager, and
Can I take the floor for the leader?
leader, yes, you are a
Many,
Manel, leader. Okay, yes, Ihab, the floor is yours, manager. Yes,
A manager focuses on the present,
yes.
prefers stability,
No,
orient.
no, no. I'd like you to read in a parallel way. Okay, so you say focus on the present, then Manel says it looks toward the future.
Okay.
Okay, yes. Yes, Ihab.
A manager focuses on the present.
the leader looks toward the future.
Okay, so you see, so a manager focuses on the present moment. Okay, he solves a problem. On the other hand, leader has a vision. If you, he looks for the future. You see, so one is in the present and the other is the future. Yes, Ihab.
Yeah. A manager prefers stability.
The leader appreciates change.
And
Change.
you
Sorry.
see, stability versus change. It's a major difference between management and leadership. For managers, they prefer stability. They pertain to the old school. And here they have, of course, the managerial functions, which are prescribed, planning, organizing, staffing, directing, etc. And they have the output, and then they compare. Okay, they refuse deviations. So managers, they do not give the floor for any deviation. On the other hand, leaders, they appreciate change, challenge. So here they have that kind of, in Arabic we say habla, that's something foolish. You see, they appreciate change and challenge. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Ihab?
Constructive mess.
Yeah. Yeah. Ihab?
Constructive mess.
Yes.
I'm talking about the previous point. Constructive
Yes.
mess. Is it right?
Constructive.
Mess.
Yes, exactly. Constructive mess. Okay, so he loves mess. He loves things to be messy, but in a constructive way. Yes, thank you for
Productive.
the term. That's it. Okay, this is a leader. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Ihab.
A manager orients towards the short term.
Yeah. What about a
The
leader?
leader. The leader orients toward the long term.
The long term. One looks at the present moment, and the other for the long term. Okay. Yes.
Long
Carry on.
term goals. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Carry on.
Yeah.
A manager focuses on procedure.
Procedure. So you
Procedure.
see, so the
Yeah.
manager has a given procedure. Number one, then number two, three. So things are organized. What about a leader?
However, the leader engages in a vision.
And what is the meaning of a vision? We saw the word last time. What is a vision? So, what is a vision, ladies and gentlemen? What is a vision?
Maybe point of view.
A long-term view
No, no. Let's say managerially speaking. So, what is a vision? So, vision has to do
To
with.
with
to be in
goals.
the future. Goals.
And so exactly. So what the organization wants to become in the future. This is a vision. So we have seen the word vision. We deals with what the organization wants to become. And that's why they are completely different. So managers, they deal with procedures. So we have different procedures organized in a given way, while leaders, they have a vision, they have an objective, and they would like to reach that objective. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, Ihab.
A manager asks what and how.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
However, the leader asks why and what.
And why? So you see the leader all the time, he or she asks why, in what way. So here it's a completely different mind. One is rather so for the manager, it is something cognitive, organized, etc. While a leader, it is something which is olfactory. It goes with emotions, etc. Okay. Then Ihab.
A
Yes, Ihab.
manager prefers to control.
Mhm.
The leader knows how to delegate.
How to delegate. You see, when we say management, it has to do with the old school. And last time we mentioned both theories, theory X and theory Y. Do you remember them? Theory X and theory Y. Do you remember these theories?
Yes.
Hesberg's theory. So what about theory X? What about theory X?
The old school and the new school.
Exactly. So when we say theory X, it has to do with the old school, the old-fashioned schools, and here,
Focuses on hard skills.
yeah, and here the focus is on old school. So the manager prefers to be in control of the situation. He or she gives orders. On the
Controller.
other hand, yes, yes, lady.
It's an horizontal relation between the manager and the employees.
Exactly, it's a top-down approach. It's a rather vertical for management. It is a vertical. It's a top-down. So at the top we find the manager, and he or she gives orders. On the other hand, leaders, it is rather is it vertical or horizontal?
Horizontal.
Horizontal
Horizontal.
Horizontal. It is based on
Communication.
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 communication, delegation, etc. You see, it's a rather theory Y. For leadership, it's a theory Y. For management, it's a theory X. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, let's carry on.
A manager is happy with complexity.
Yeah, he is happy with or in complexity. He enjoys complexity, as if you have a mathematical problem and you are going to solve the problem. On the other hand, what about leaders? Yes, what about leaders?
They
Yes.
prefer to simplify.
Yeah, he prefers to simplify things and to make things simple and enjoyable. Okay, then next one. Yes, Ihab.
A
Yes.
manager uses the rational
Yeah.
mind. The
So
rational mind.
the rational mind, which is rhetorically speaking, using Aristotle words, what is it? What is it according to Aristotle? The rational mind is
Logos.
Logos.
logos, yeah, logos or the logical appeal.
Logic.
And what about Manel, leader?
Trust,
Pathos.
intuition.
Intuition. And of course, here we talk about the
Pathos.
Pathos.
good
Faith.
pathos or
Faith.
the olfactory pathos or the olfactory appeal. Finally, then what about manager?
A manager works within the context of the organization and the business.
Yeah. What about the leader?
Take social and environmental. I cannot really see the screen.
Yeah. Just a minute. Okay. Yes.
Take
Takes.
social and environmental context into consideration.
So you see, even in their vision, the manager is introverted. He works within the context of the organization and the business. On the other hand, a leader is more extroverted. He takes social and environmental context into consideration. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
here, let me explain these. We have two figures, one dealing with management and the other with leadership. So here we talk about management. So as I have already explained, the roles and responsibilities of managers are completely different from leaders. And here, the role and responsibilities, we talk about planning, guiding, budgeting. Here, of course, the financial aspect, reassuring, organizing, monitoring, staffing, and controlling. And here I'd like you to keep in mind when I say the functions or the roles of management, all the time you are required to keep in mind the 5 managerial functions: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Is it clear for this point?
Yes.
Then let's see the objectives. So here, when you talk about management, it has to do with the predictability. And as I said last time, I gave you an idea about business plans. Here they are going to jot down ideas about the planning process, the organizational process, etc. So of course we have things which are written, prescribed, and you have the output. And then they are going to compare what is prescribed with the output. And that's why management has to do with the predictability, with order. So things are ordered. Then consistency. When I say consistency, it means zero deviation. It means you are going to compare what is written in the business plan and the output. And here we would like to have zero deviations, no deviations within management. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. And of course, it's a stable performance and short-term results. You see, so it is rather, as I said, the old school. So managers or management has to do with the old school. If you move to leaders, so you see the roles and responsibilities are different. They have to do with seeing, then enrolling. And let me explain the word enrolling. When we talk about leadership, we talk about
To be
involvement.
involved.
Very good. We talk about involvement and empowerment. Okay, so let's start with involvement. What is the meaning of involvement? Linguistically speaking, what is involvement? Yes?
Part
Can
of the team.
yeah,
To
uh,
involve.
to involve, as opposed to what? As
To take
opposed
part.
to not take part. It is opposed to detachment. Okay, and here let me explain something. When we speak, Here we talk about three things, okay? When I speak, I am the didactic center. Do you know the meaning of didactic center?
No.
Okay, so when I speak, it's the I, it's my ego, it's the didactic center. I am the center of the speech, okay? Of course, I have the I have the here. It has to do with the spatial didactic tools. It has to do with the space and the now. If you do not understand, please let me explain again. Okay, so when I speak, there is the I, which is the ego, and I have the here, the place, and I have the now. If I would like to attract you, I have to use I have to stick to the present moment and here. I'm not going to use there. I'm going to use here. So this is a way to attract others. I'm going to give you an example to make things clearer. Okay, one of you, one ترى واحد منكم يتكلم ترى.
Okay.
Okay, so you are
إيهاب
إيهاب
إيهاب رباعي.
إيهاب رباعي. So is it better to say رباعي or إيهاب? Which one is better?
Well,
How?
I prefer إيهاب.
Ihab, of course, if I say Ihab, as if I'm bringing you close to me, and this is one of the ways to bring you close. If I say Ihab, Manel, Ahmed, Slim, etc., it is a way to attract others, and that's why, as a leader, you have to opt for bringing the other closer to you. Of course, via different linguistic and paralinguistic tools. Linguistic tools, for example, I use your name. Okay, paralinguistic tools, and we will talk about communication. يخسر مع لازمكم تشوفوني يخسر. Paralinguistic tools via your gaze, the use of gestures, etc. And that's why, in order to enroll others, in order to involve them, you have to opt for the I, here, and now. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only the last part.
And here, let me just add something. Here, when I speak, I have two alternatives. I'm going either to bring you close to me, and here we talk about centripetal movement. It is a centripetal. I am the center. باش نعمل حركة سحب باش نجبدك ليلي. Donc, I'm going to have a centripetal movement. Or I will have a centrifugal movement باش ندفعك باش نبعدك عليا. Okay, I can say إيهاب.
Can you send it in the chat, please?
Yeah.
Can you send it in the chat? I want to.
Yes. Just a minute. I'm going to write it. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. Where is it? Okay. I will write everything and I will provide you. Okay. Just a minute.
I know where it is.
Can you find it?
No, close this. Yes.
Okay. A centripetal movement. I will write everything and I will provide you with everything written. Okay. So
Okay.
let me explain again. So as I said, when you speak, you would like to bring others close to you. So here you have a centripetal movement. If I say إيهاب إجا وإلا نقول hey إجي انت لهون. So which one is better?
The first one.
The first one, there is a kind of respect, there is a kind of centripetal movement. I bring you close to me, and there is no centrifugal movement. I will send the words to you later on. And I am working on the triangle I, here, and now. And as a leader, you are required to focus on enrolling other. Okay, is it clear? And when we say enrolling, we talk about involvement,
and
exactly, as opposed to detachment. Also, as a leader, we talk about visioning. You have a vision. You have an eye for the future. You have also, we talk about inspiring, motivating others, motivating your employees. Okay. Also, strategizing. You have a strategic thinking. You're not having just plans. You have strategic plan. When you communicate strategically, and if you use things in a strategic way, you are let's say thinking. You are thoughtful. You have an objective, and you would like the group to reach that objective. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, we talk about performing, risking. You cannot be a leader without taking risks. Good leaders take risks. Okay? And the last point has to do with delegation or empowerment. So, empowerment here, as a leader, I give you the alternative I give you the floor to express your viewpoint, to have an idea, etc. And here we talk about delegation and empowerment. And these are regarded as roles and skills and responsibilities for leaders. Is it clear? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So for the objectives, they are completely different. They have to do with vision, with leaders, with strategies, with movement. There is no stability. When you talk about leadership, it is constantly changing. So it is movement. It is strategic mess, as you have already said. It is a strategic or constructive mess. It has to do with challenge. Okay, you do not keep things fixed. So here it is all the time changing, and you have a challenge, and you would like to break the norms. Okay, and nowadays there are no old-fashioned leaders. We talk about مهبله معناتها نبداو نقولوا leaders اللي كان عندك التشالنج الهبله هذيك qui fait la différence. And this is a new leader, okay, a new way of viewing things. Then we talk about energy, passion. So leadership is closely related to love, to passion. You love the things that you are doing. Okay. Also, action and change. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So then leadership versus management. Someone to read. Someone to read. Yes.
Can I read? Can I?
Yes, lady. Yes, yes, yes. The floor is yours. Mhm.
Leadership can be in a,
It's not can be seen.
sorry,
Mhm.
can be seen as performing the influencing function of management, largely involved in goals setting and motivating people to achieve them. Leaders decide where we are going and influence people to take that particular direction rather than describe how we are going to get there.
Okay,
Inspired.
so you just a minute. So you see where we are going and how we are going, and you as imagine that you work in an organization. Which alternative do you prefer? Where we are going or how we are going? Which one is better? Yes.
Where?
Yeah. What about you, Ihab? Yes.
I
How?
prefer where because everyone can do his job the way he wants and be his own leader. So
Yeah.
so I don't have a manager that dictates what I should do and I should not do to reach that specific goal that he wants me to reach.
But here, do you think that anyone can opt for this? Where we are going? Do you
Yeah,
have the skills?
No.
So, do you have
no,
the
yeah.
skills to? Some people need what?
Need managers.
Instruction.
Yeah, need managers, and especially in the beginning of your career. So you need someone to guide you, to show you the way of reaching that given objective. You
Yes,
see the point?
yes. The point is that we're not saying that management is bad and leadership is good,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
management has its own time and leadership has its time.
exactly.
Managers are good for the start of workers, but
Yeah,
by time managers would be negative.
yeah. So here, as I said, management is the first step, and then it turns into leadership. So the first step is management. Then it turns
Leadership
into
begins where management ends.
Exactly. Leadership begins when management ends. Exactly. And this can be an exam question. Okay. By the way, all the time when I teach you, I give you hints. I can say all the time it can be an exam questions. There is something else maybe that you don't know about me. I am a semiotician, so the majority of my exams, you all the time find pictures, cartoons, etc. Okay, expect a picture all the time. Okay, and that's why, as I said, inshallah, in the second semester we will have a course about advertising plus semiotics, and this may help you, inshallah. Okay. Yes, carry on,
Could you
lady.
please write down your
Inspired leaders are not necessarily good organizers and excellent managers. The most effective managers are also leaders, and the quality of leadership has become an increasingly important part of management ability.
Ability. And here, of course, we talk about the importance of leadership. Now we move to leadership types, and here we will talk about three leadership types. Okay, someone to read? Yes, 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 yes.
Mary.
Yes, lady. Your name?
Minute.
Manel بتاع ساعة. أنا ضاعت
Hi.
Manel too. Manel too, or someone else.
No,
Okay?
we don't have Manila.
Okay, okay. Yes, yes, yes.
Leadership types. All leadership is temporary. The transition nature of leadership is
The
because
transient nature. The transient nature.
the situation may come to an end or times and circumstances change.
Okay, so you know that in organization it is something fixed. Okay, it's not durable. Of course, we have the ups and downs of in the organization, and that's why we have in different circumstances we need different types of leadership. And here you find three types of leadership. We have situational leadership, transitional leadership, and then we talk about hierarchical leadership. Someone to read situational leadership. Someone to read? Yes? Someone else?
Can I?
Yes?
A situational leadership. The right person in the right place at the right moment.
Mhm.
Recognize the time and circumstances. Willingness and ability to assume the responsibility. Listen and to take the responsibility to help the group achieve its goal.
Okay,
It
so here
often
the right person in the right place at the right time. And here recognize the time and circumstances. Sometimes we need situational leadership. It means in some situation we need a given type of leadership. Okay, so willingness and ability to assume the responsibility, listen and to take the responsibility to help the group achieve the goal. And what does it require? What does situational leadership require? So yes, you read. What does it require?
it often involves no-cost decisions,
Mhm.
Solomonic decisions,
What are
moral decisions
Solomonic? What is the meaning of Solomonic decision?
are
So,
taken by one person.
no, when we talk about Solomonic decisions, it has to do with wise decisions. Situational leadership requires no cost decision, wise decision. Yes, then. Mhm.
uh, Meditative decision, community
Moral
decision,
decision. Yes.
moral decision, meditative
What is
decision,
a
community
meditative decision? What is meditative? It has to do with meditation. What does it mean?
meditation.
Yes. What is the synonym?
Maybe patient.
Decision
Calming
made
down the
through
situation, maybe.
Now,
meditation.
when we talk about meditative decision, it means thoughtful, not as opposed to hasty decisions. We talk about thoughtful or meditative or thoughtful. It needs reflection. Be okay, thinking in depth. Yes.
Community decisions,
Mhm.
philanthropic decisions,
What are
uh,
philanthropic decisions? What are philanthropic decisions? Okay. What is
related,
philanthropy? What is philanthropy?
humanism related to human love,
Exactly. Dealing, so here helping the other, taking care of the other. When you as a situational leader, you should not take hasty decisions. You should be wise, rely on your moral, you think in depth, and here you have to be philanthropic. You think about others. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes? Mm-hmm.
Institutional decisions,
Mm-hmm.
community decisions, princely decisions.
Princely or big decisions. Princely or big decisions. Okay? So let's recapitulate for situational leadership. This is one of the kinds of leadership, and in some situations we need it. Okay, and here it involves several things or skills, and notably everything that has to do with big thinking in depth, wise decisions, dealing with the other, being extroverted, and forgetting about oneself and looking for the benefit of the whole group. Is it clear? Is
Yes.
it clear? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now we move to transitional. What is the meaning of transition? What does transition mean? What
A
is
shift for
transition?
something, shift for
Exactly.
change.
You change from a situation to another. And today we are dealing with I am a transitional leader. Okay. We move from a classroom with people with face-to-face to communication. And here I'm moving to a virtual era. We are just communicating virtually. Is it clear? So here I need skills in this transitional leadership. So someone to read? Yes? 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 Mm-hmm. The risk. Okay, so as I take the example of today, here you should avoid fearing the risk, so you run the risk. Okay, and here you need major skills in transitional leadership, and here, as I said, in times of transitions of change. Okay, for example, a company has just recovered from a bankruptcy. Okay, and here we have the pre and post bankruptcy. And here we need transitional leadership after a bankruptcy. Can you see the point? Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes. Now we move to the last type of leadership, and it has to do with hierarchy. Okay, so the right circumstances but wrong time. And here assumes a leadership role because it is their turn, whether they want the role or not. And let me explain. When I talk about a hierarchy, I talk about a pyramid-like structure. When you hierarchy equal to pyramid-like structure. And here at the highest level, we are going to find, who are we going to find at the highest level?
Manager.
Yes, good. Supervisors and manager. And at the
CEO.
lowest level, or we are going to find at the
Employee,
lowest level. Yes?
the staff, and the employee.
We are going to find basically the less experienced employees. Okay? So at the top, the highest level, supervisors and managers. And at the lowest level, we will find less experienced employees. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
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 Okay. Okay. So now we move to leadership styles, and here we have different types of styles. Okay. Someone to read? Yes.
Can I read?
Yes, lady. Mhm.
Coercive. What I tell you.
Coercive. What is the meaning of coercive? Using what? Coercive. What is the meaning of coercive? What does it mean? What is so coercive? It means
Orders.
it uses a force. Okay, do what I tell you. If I'm opting for coercive style, it means I use force. Do what I tell you. You're not required to interfere. And this is it autocratic or democratic?
Autocrat.
Autocratic.
Autocratic, of course.
Given orders.
Second point, yes. Second point, yes,
Affirmative.
yes.
People come first.
Here we talk about affiliation as if we are family. Okay, and here is it autocratic or democratic?
Democratic.
Democratic, of
Democratic.
course. Then pace setting. Do as I do now. You are going to follow my path. So is it autocratic or democratic?
Autocratic.
Okay, autocratic. Then next point, someone to read. Yes.
Authoritative.
Yes, authoritative or authoritarian. And come with me. And here, is it autocratic, democratic?
Autocratic.
Autocratic.
Autocratic, once again. Then democratic, what do you think? And here we talk about involving the subordinates, we talk about empowerment, we
Enrollment.
talk about involvement, laissez-faire, etc. And finally,
Integration.
then coaching, what is coaching? Try this. So when you talk about coaching, is it autocratic or democratic?
Democratic.
Coaching, of course, democratic. And within coaching, we talk about teamwork, team building, trainings, etc. Okay, is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now let's end with these few points. So, is leadership necessary? So, first task of leaders to be the trumpet that sounds a clear sound. Here, you are the trumpet that emanates or that gives a clear sound. You are going to let's say to play as a role model. They are going to follow your path. Second, to accept the leadership as a responsibility rather than rank or privilege. So, if you are a leader, you know that you are a role model. It is your responsibility. Okay? And the third point, which is the most important, you have to earn the trust of your subordinates. Okay? Now, and this is the last point. Okay? So, the journey from managers to leaders and from leaders to executive has three key transition points. So, here, when you start with the task, let me explain. So, we start with management. First, you are going to act as a manager, okay, from an individual performer to a managing team. Then, from a manager, you have to become a leader, okay? You are going to set a model, and here I'm going to give you an example. Okay, so imagine that you are an orchestra leader and you have different musicians. You have the piano, the violin, etc. Different people, and here you have to organize the orchestra in order to have what? What are
Symphony.
you going to have? Nice music. Your objective is to obtain nice music.
Harmony.
Similarly, yeah. Are you following me?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
following me? Yeah.
Yes.
It is the same way with leadership. You are a leader, you have different people with different personalities, with different skills, and you are going to try to make that mixture to obtain a good output, to reach your objectives. And this was last year exam. Last year, I gave my students a cartoon of an orchestra leader with the group of people playing music, and I asked them to elaborate. Okay, and here, what are they required to work on? Imagine that it's your exam. What are you going to say? Imagine that
Talk
it
about
is an
leadership.
exam. Yeah. So, what are you going to say? I give you a cartoon of an orchestra reader with musicians. Yes. What about leadership here? Mhm.
It is required to
Not obligatory here. Maybe you have to understand each individual, each player individually, and everyone is going to do his best in order to obtain nice music. It is the same way in leadership. You have a group of people, you are going to understand them one by one, okay, and in order to push them to give their best to obtain a good output and basically attaining the objectives of the organization. Is it clear?
Yes.
Is it clear? Okay. Okay. So now I'd like you to take. Okay. I'm going to show you something. Okay. I'm going to open the camera. Just a moment. Okay. Can you see my camera?
Yes.
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 Okay. So, can you see these pictures? Just a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'd like you to. Who can you see in this picture? Who is that
David
man?
Beckham.
David
Football
Beckham.
player.
Yes.
Player.
I'd like you to. I'd like you to describe him. What is happening with David Beckham?
He's
Yes, he is hurt. So
He's confused.
what does he have on his eyebrow?
Stitches, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a sticking. Yes, here you can see a sticking plaster on his eyebrow. What else? Is he happy?
Yeah.
he's
He's
focused.
Yes.
excited.
He's
What
not
about his?
happy.
He is focused.
So he is
Forward.
focused. Yes. Okay.
Forward.
Now I'm going to show you something else. Do you know this man? For those who are for the new
Sir Alex
listeners,
Ferguson, right?
yeah, this is Sir David, Alex Ferguson. And here, if you write his name on Google, or you're going to find that he is one of the best. Please avoid the background sound, and you will find that Alex Ferguson is one of the best leaders in the world, and he is the leader or the coach of Manchester United. Okay, do you have an
Usually.
idea about the story of Beckham and Alex Ferguson? Do you have an idea about it?
No.
Yes
No.
or no? No.
No.
Okay, so I'd like you to go to page 15 in your booklet. Okay, you go to page 15 in your booklet.
The orange one.
Yes. Do you have your booklet?
Yes.
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 Management styles.
Yes. So please, first of all, I'd like you to read the title. What about the title? Here.
Terrorizing the
Terrorizing.
talent.
Terrorizing talents. Okay. Now, if I ask you about the word, yeah. Okay. Ihab, I'd like you to comment upon this, and then you are going to tell us about the story.
It's
I'd like
Shahir, not me.
yes, terrorizing. If I say terrorizing, is it a positive or negative word?
It's a negative.
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 Word.
If I say terrorizing, it has to do with what?
Terrorism.
Terror.
Terror,
Horror.
Terrorism.
Fear.
Violence.
fear, etc. If I say talent, what are the words that come into your mind?
Positive term.
Skills.
Positive
Skills.
term. Yes.
Gifts.
Skills.
Skills.
Yes. Is it failure? Is
No.
it
No.
Success.
failure?
Well,
No.
it can be
So
related
the
to failure.
title, there is a time. What did you say, Manel?
I told you it can be sometimes related to failure. I mean, sometimes they can fail. They cannot really make it, even though they have talent, but sometimes they
Yes,
cannot make it. So,
exactly.
yes.
But here, when I say terrorizing the talents, so here there is a kind of discrepancy, contradiction in the title. And here, then we find the picture of Beckham with his plaster, and we find Sir Alex Ferguson, who is one of the best leaders in the world. Now, I give the floor to Ihab to tell us the story of David Beckham.
Shahir.
Okay?
I'm
Yes,
sorry, but it's
Ihab,
Shahir,
can
not
you
me.
tell us? Yes. It's a
It's Shahir, not
Shahir.
me.
Yes, Shahir. Shahir, yes. Yes, Shahir. The floor is yours. Yes, Shahir. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Maybe it's another story, Shahid. So, that was a problem and he did not win the match, David Beckham. And Alex Ferguson lost his temper. He was so angry that he kicked a football boot on Beckham. Okay, and that was it made the buzz at that time. How come one of the best leaders of the world hit one of the best players? And here it was on purpose, and it took a great deal, and there were so many debates about this
I actually have
situation.
a personal story about this.
Yes, yes, yes,
I
Ihab.
actually have a personal story about this that happened to me.
Yes, how is that? Yes,
So I used to
how
play
is that? Tell
handball.
us about this story. Yes.
So I used to play
Mm-hmm.
handball here in Medellin, and first when I started, there was this coach that was strict and always yelling and always
Mm-hmm.
cussing on us and sometimes hitting us. And the moment they changed him, I stopped evolving. I used to get
Yes.
I was evolving like every week, every time I knew I get to know new stuff, and suddenly they changed him because he
Yes.
yells too much and everything, and they gave us another coach who was a normal coach. I didn't understand anything
Yeah.
because I was new.
You see, so here the importance here you are talking about what? Yeah, about the importance of
The
is
leader
it an autocratic or democratic leaders? Yes, of leadership. So in some circumstances we need what? What do we need?
Coercive
Yeah,
leadership.
we need
autocratic
autocratic.
leader.
And by the way, I'd like to mention something. Have you ever watched on? I think it's NBC One. It's a program by Trump. Is it the Big House? The I think it's the Big House, and it's a kind of meeting. Trump with a group of people working, and online he asks them questions, and then he fired them. He used to fire them online. Do you know the program?
I heard about it.
Yeah, and here Trump used humiliation and he used embarrassing words. He fired people online, and this was one of the programs of Trump, and he used authoritarian style. And here we do not talk about authoritarian style. We talk about fear motivation. One of the ways of motivating your subordinates, and in some situation is fear motivation. And what is fear motivation? So fear motivation, it means in some circumstances you are obliged to terrorize your employees, to use coercion, towards you frightening words or humiliation. And it is kind of what is it, what does it do if I use coercion? What does it do? Yes,
Intimidate.
intimidate. And yet it motivates your employees. They become frustrated. Okay, they become frustrated. And now I'd like you to go to page 16, 17. Okay, okay. When to terrorize tenants. Okay, someone to read.
Can I?
I can read.
Yes, we will have every paragraph. I have one student to read. Yes, you start, lady. Yes.
Uh, the football dressing room remains the last refugee of old-style management techniques. The nation was in shock.
Mhm.
David Beckham, Britain's most beautiful and skillful footballer, emerged from his house on Monday morning to allow the world to photograph a wound above his left eye. Sir Alex Ferguson, manager his of his then team, Manchester United, had lost his temper after a defeat and kicked a football boot which hit the Beckham eyebrow. In sports,
So you see,
more
he lost. So just a minute. So
yes,
Sir Alex Ferguson lost his temper after the defeat, and he hit the boots on David Eyebrow. Okay. Someone else. Second paragraph.
Okay.
Yes.
In sports, more than in most businesses, the management tactics are out in the open for all to see. Not many managers try to strangle their subordinates as a body knight. A former basketball coach at Indiana University once did, but the ability to inspire fear has always been an essential tool of management.
Please, I'd like you to highlight this sentence. The ability to inspire fear has always been an essential tool of management. You highlight it, and here we are talking about which type of motivation? It's a which type of motivation is it?
fear motivation.
Good. It's a fear motivation.
Motivation.
Yeah, and when we say fear motivation, it stems from worry and fear. And yeah, I'd like to show you something. Just a minute. Um, okay. So what can you see in this cartoon? What is it? Yeah,
Choose
yeah.
employee stuff.
Whose pair of shoes is it?
The
The boss.
manager.
Yeah, the manager. You see, as if he is pressing on his subordinates. And what about the physical features of the subordinates? They are
Terrified.
yeah,
Small.
yeah. It's a kind of terror. He is
Yes.
horrified. And here we talk about fear motivation. So sometimes we are obliged to opt for fear motivation that can stem from worry and fear. Okay, here it stems in an environment where trust and strong relationship flourish. Okay, here in a workplace, sometimes you are obliged to opt for this type of motivation because it can be motivational. I'm going to show you something else, and I'd like you to okay, just look for the cartoon. Okay, so I'd like you to focus now on this cartoon. And okay, so what can you see here? Yes, what is it?
An
Someone who's
impossible goal.
married, who's in a hurry for work or something.
Not really.
A
Not
goal that
really.
is
So
unreachable.
Someone who is in a hurry just to go get his work.
no. Okay, just a minute. I'm going to show you something else, and I'd like you to okay.
Using temptation
I,
and motivation.
okay. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Can you see my screen or not? Not yet. Okay.
No.
Okay. Just a minute. Okay. Just a minute. Mhm. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Just a minute. And here, can you see this picture, this cartoon?
Yes. It's about
And
our.
this was one of 2 years ago exam. And here, what can you see? What can you see here? Who is that? Who is that man?
The
The
manager.
leader.
The manager.
A manager. And what about this? This is
Subordinate.
a subordinate. And here, what about this? You
Stick.
have
It's a stick.
it's a stick.
It's pain,
And
maybe, or he's damaging him.
at the extreme,
Hitting him.
There is a pin.
like, yeah.
Is it
What
going to be
can
pin?
you see? It's a
The
screw.
needle. A needle.
A needle or a screw, okay? And here, in front of that person, what can you see? A
Carrot.
carrot. And this is called the carrot and the stick approach of motivation. It means as a leader or as a manager, you are required to use force and motivation at the same time. So here you can see there is the carrot. You are going to provide them with incentives, with money, with okay, etc. And at the same time, you have to be what? You have to be
Strict.
authoritarian. Okay, and here this is about Sir Alex Ferguson, and he is using motivational tools and punishment at the same time. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. And once again, it can be one of your exams. Okay. So here we're talking about incentive theory of motivation or carrot and stick approach of motivation. Okay. Now let's carry on. Yes. Someone to read. Yes. Someone to read.
Can I?
شكون اللي مخبي؟ شكون اللي مخبي؟ شكون اللي مخبي؟ تراه لنا شكون هي لنا؟ لنا. لنا.
Yes, it's me.
Yes,
Lots of
you read, please.
Yes, lots of successful chief executives rule by terror. None, it must be said, researched the standard set by John Patterson, who built NRC. Early in the 20th century, when a man gets indispensable, let's fire him. He would apparently say, one NCR executive discovered he had been fired when he found his desk and chair in flames on the company lawn. Modern laws on constructive dismissal and employee harassment have put an end to such fun.
Come
However,
on, yes. Okay, so now Aya, Delhi, you read, please.
Yes. However, terror in the workplace is making a comeback these days. In an economic upswing, fear goes underground. Fear goes underground. Workers are scarce and therefore
Scared.
powerful. Scarce and therefore powerful. Bosses must handle their talent with care. When times turn tough, the balance of power swings, as Hank Paulson, chairman of Goldman Sachs, put it in a speech that upset his staff. In almost every one of our businesses, there are 20%, 15-20% of the people that really add 80% of the value. In other words, 80 to 85% are largely redundant and had better shape up fast.
Redundant. Imagine 80 to 80% are largely redundant, useless, in other words, and had better shape up fast. Okay? Next, motivating talents. Yasmin? Yes, Yasmin?
Yes.
Okay.
Does he really motivate?
Yes, motivating talents.
Does he really motivate? In
Yes.
Scott Snook, who teaches organizational behavior at Harvard Business School. Fear can become a barrier to taking risks, yet it can provide the essential emotional kick needed to meet the challenge. Coaches
To meet the challenge. And here I can mention the story, just 1 minute, Yasmin. And here I can take the example of Ihab, who was motivated and then he lost his motivation. Okay, so fear can become a barrier. So here you see, sometimes fear motivates others. Okay, although it is something negative, but sometimes we may need it. Okay, yes, carry on, Yasmin.
Coaches need to strike the right balance and the right player in order to develop talent. Get used in the boardroom. Fear can be disastrous. Tony Cookman, I don't know. Uh,
Coachman.
yes, a hand
A headhunter.
Atigo Zender in London recalls the board of a large firm with a chief executive who so dominated his
Executive.
executive who so dominated his directors that they rarely questioned or challenged him. Success is such a company depends on having a great leader and a steady market, he argues. Jim Collins, author of a book.
He argues. Okay, someone else. Okay, someone else. Amel Amri.
Yes,
Are you here, Amel? Okay,
yes,
Noor.
use,
Amel. Okay, okay, Amel. Yes.
yet use in the boardroom fear can be disastrous. Tony Kochman, a head hunter at Egon Zander,
No, you come back to the. So Jim Collins, author of the book that explains here. Jim Collins, this paragraph. Yeah, are you
yes,
lost, Amel?
yes.
Jim, Jim
Author of
Collins.
Jim Collins, author of a book that explains why some firms succeed in making the jump from good to great, and others fail, found that the approach to fear was a key distinction among firms that he survived. He found that in the truly successful firms people were productively neur-
Neurotic. So please,
neurotic.
I'd like you to highlight this sentence: productively neurotic. Okay, so he found that in the truly successful firms, people were productively neurotic. And here, I'd like you to think about. Give me famous names of businessmen in the world, successful businessmen, for example. Give me example of the
Mark
best
Zuckerberg.
businessman in the world.
Paris Hilton.
Yeah, yeah.
Vince McMahon.
Mark
What? Who
Zuckerberg.
else? Yes,
Paris
yes,
Hilton.
exactly. Facebook. Yes, yes. Bill,
Bill
Bill
Gates.
Bill
Gates. Yeah, Bill Gates, of course. Microsoft. Who else? Who else? Think about other. Okay. Yeah,
Vince
The
McMahon.
founder of
American.
Amazon.
of Amazon. Wait. Yeah. So you see, if you talk about,
Dana White.
of course, Trump. Don't forget Trump. He's one of the big names in the business world. And here, one of the characteristics. Let's talk about Bill Gates. Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, he is one of the best leaders and business owners of this world. However, Bill Gates is an authoritarian leader. He uses force and coercion with his subordinates. Normally, they meet all the Microsofts. They meet once a year with the Bill Gates. However, people become very afraid and embarrassed because they are afraid from contacting him, from meeting him, because he is a harsh person, he is very serious, and he intimidates his staff. And this is one of the examples of peer motivation. And here I'd like you to read this paragraph about how people in Microsoft are productively neurotic. They are afraid of meeting Bill Gates. Someone to read, someone else. Ihab, you read at Microsoft?
Let me.
Yes, it's
At Microsoft, for example, employees
the
worry all. At Microsoft, for
yeah.
example, employees worry all year at the prospect of their annual meeting with Bill Gates. They were even being shouted at would not hurt as much as seeming to be an idiot.
So it means he dares saying bad words, intimidating words to his employees. And here we can guess the strategy used by Bill Gates. Yes, carry on.
The
Mhm.
driving fear of failure points out Mr. Collins. It is not unique to corporate life. I'm self-employed and I live with constant fear, he says, but I'm self-afraid. That kind of fear is common among creative artists and also professional services, where the person is the product and lots of fragile egos have to be managed.
Okay, so here we have lots and many fragile egos, people to manage. Okay, is it clear
Yes.
for this strategy about fear motivation? Okay, so by the way, I'd like you to make your own search about the Trump program. If you find it, please don't hesitate to
Is it
share
a
it
TV
on our
program or what?
it's a TV program. I think it's on NBC One. Last year, one of the students brought it to the classroom, and he brought with him the most humiliating TV program. And as you know, Trump is very special person, and he intimidated the staff in the TV program. That was very embarrassing. Okay, you can make your own search,
I
and
know
if you
some
come,
managers that are worse than him.
for example,
Vince
yeah.
McMahon, he's really known, and Netflix is doing a documentary about him.
Please, Ihab, if you find something like that about fear motivation,
Also,
about the carrot and stick,
also,
yeah, you share.
I want to tell more about the what I talked about earlier.
Yeah,
There are more informations that need to be said because it really helps us.
yeah, yeah.
As I said, I was new to the sport and I was just learning handball and everything, and I was enjoying the way he was teaching us and everything. But the old players,
Yeah,
not all, the ones that were
yeah.
playing before me, are becoming frustrated,
Mm-hmm.
really frustrated. But the thing that they didn't understand is that
Yeah,
this coach is the only coach that takes from his time to talk to us. He tells us to stand and line up, and he speaks. He tells us he shows us our soft skills and everything. Maybe he talks with an authoritarian words and everything,
so
but he gives us
yeah,
yeah. He even tells us to yell at each other. He even tells us to cuss at each other mid game and things like that. The next coach, although he was super normal, nothing special about him,
yeah,
he just
yeah.
comes to training and tells us do that, and when we finish, goodbye, and next time kada kada.
So there is no plus. You see, so the importance of sometimes being autocratic is very positive. It pushes you to do your utmost,
Yes,
okay, to become productive. Yeah, and it's
even
a
those
good.
players became missing the old coach.
Yeah, exactly. You see,
Actually,
yeah, because yeah,
Actually, I know this coach personally, and he's not the same person as a coach and in normal life. He's almost taken a tactic.
wearing the mask. Yeah,
Yes,
it's a strategy. He's wearing a mask, let's say. If you notice, management and playing a sport, they are very close. If you come back to the origin of management, you will find it in sports and notably in football. Okay, so here the root is sports. Okay, so. And now I'd like to give you the floor, and here I'd like you everyone is going to answer. I'd like to ask your viewpoint. What makes a good leader? What is a good leader for you? Okay, so Noor Friha, for example, what is a good leader for you, and what makes a good leader?
What makes a good leader is he's confident. He is good with
Confidence,
his
yes.
he is good with his employees. He make
Mm-hmm.
good decisions, maybe challenging ones.
Yes.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so and here, what about you? Would you prefer fear motivation or let's say laissez-faire? So what about
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
your viewpoint?
I fear what?
Fear motivation. Would you love fear motivation? Fear motivation.
No,
How is
I
I
that?
do.
don't think so.
Yes, who
Fear
said I do?
motivation.
Yes, who said I do?
Me.
Shaiba? Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
I think it's only about the perspective on what you see about the fear motivation. It sometimes
Mhm.
gives motivation and makes you defeat the boss.
Exactly. Yes,
Like
yes.
both, but
So
I,
here,
I don't like the coach that is neutral and doesn't do anything. Coach, the manager that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree
So
with
you,
you.
you do not, yeah. So here
I like
we talk about,
a structure that has someone that has a view at least.
yeah, yes. Yeah, you would like someone who is charismatic, present, not you would like a manager who is charismatic. That's it.
Yes, yes.
Is it it? Is it
I don't care if
okay?
he is authoritarian good
Democratic.
or democratic, but I just want him one of those. I don't like a manager that is uh, just a manager and gives
Yeah,
doesn't feel like
orders,
a manager.
just orders. Yeah, yeah. Okay, here I'd like you to, by the way, I'd like you to go to your booklets, and here you go to page 15, 14, 14, 14. Rapidly, you go to page 14. Hmm?
Can I read?
Role of a manager in an organization. Yes, yes, yes,
The
Aya.
role of a manager is to take the environment conducive to work.
So we
He
say either
studies the
conducive or conductive, Aya. So the role of a manager is to make the environment conducive or conductive to work. It pushes you to work. Yes, carry on, Aya.
he studies the employees individually by
Mhm.
encouraging the inquisitive employees and
Inquisitive.
by inquisitive employees and by prohibiting insidious elements.
Insidious. Okay, so you have a group of employees. Some of them are inquisitive, they ask questions, they are serious, etc. You are going to encourage them. On the other hand, you are going to prohibit and fire those who are untidy, insidious. Okay, so here
Yes,
we will talk about the characteristics of good leaders or good managers. Be representative of his or her subordinates. So, can you explain this point? What is the meaning of he must be representative of his or her subordinates? What does it mean? Yes? Yes? What does it mean?
I don't
So,
understand.
you, yes, yes, Ihab,
I don't
Ihab,
understand.
you do not understand. So here, these are the qualities of a good manager. He must be representative of his or her subordinates. Of course, you know that a manager is an intermediary between the workers in the company. And here he or she is going to show personal consideration for these employees. Okay, of course, he carries, and in other words, he or she carries the voice of the subordinates. And that's why we call him, he must be a representative of his subordinates. It means, in other words, he carries the voice of the subordinates. Is it clear? It's clear
yes,
now. Of course, he carries the. Imagine that you work in a company, but the manager does not care about you. There is no, he does not represent you. He doesn't care about you. And yet, this is important. This is one of the skills needed for managers. Okay, he must be representative of the subordinates. Is it clear?
yes,
Yes?
yes,
Okay. Also, he must be, the second point, he must be an appropriate counselor. Okay, this is the second point. And of course, in the workplace, sometimes you feel you have problems, you need counseling. And that's why the manager, he needs emotional intelligence and he needs cognitive empathy okay, to communicate with the employees. Okay. The third point is use power properly. As
Miss,
a manager, yes,
uh,
lady.
I didn't respond. Can you repeat, please?
Yes. Be an appropriate counselor.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. As I said, in the workplace, with the workers or the employees need counseling, and sometimes they have the, let's say, an emotional disequilibrium. Of course, they need a manager to talk with them, to exchange information, and he needs cognitive intelligence, cognitive empathy, or emotional intelligence. And that's why a good manager must be an appropriate counselor. Okay, and try to link it with cognitive empathy or emotional intelligence. Okay, is it
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. It's
Next
clear.
point is yes, yes, yeah, thank you. Then the third point is using power properly. And here, of course, when we talk about power in the workplace, we can consider it as a
Authority.
weapon or as a gun. As authority, it's a gun, it's a real gun. However, this weapon, the problem with this weapon is that it can backfire if you mishandle it. As a manager, if you abuse power, if you misuse power, of course, it's going to backfire. And that's why you can say that they have to use power properly.
Like
The
a dog.
yeah, is it clear? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The next point is managing time well. And if you talk about time, we talk about the. I think that I have already mentioned the dimension of time last time, and I said that there are three dimensions of time. Of course, we have the boss imposed time. It means time imposed by the boss. Okay. For example, the boss asks you to work 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day. The second dimension of time is system imposed time. So the system or the government imposes workers to work, for example, 8 hours a day. And the last dimension is the self imposed time. Every one of us has something within him. Here, do I respect time? There is the dimension of self imposed time. And these three dimensions of time, boss imposed, system imposed, and self imposed time, are complementary. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Clear. Yes.
Yes.
And the next point and the last point, strive, of course, for effectiveness. And all the time, when we talk about effectiveness, here we talk about teamwork, team building. So, as a manager, he is required to throw his efforts to bring, let's say, effectiveness. And here he is going to nurture, to help the development of teamwork. Okay, is it clear? So as a manager, you strive for effectiveness via nurturing. And when I say nurture, it means helping the development of teamwork, working together. You are, let's say, a family within the organization. Then you have to manage and lead, to be a source of influence, and of course to sanction, to punish. Is it clear? Is it clear, ladies and
Yes, yes.
gentlemen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'd like to tell you something. Please, while revising, for example, you have in your booklets the course, and I will send you extra information. As you know, when we are in the classroom, I used to dictate. You have blanks, and I dictate. Now I'm going to send you my copy. Okay, instead of
Okay.
Yes.
dictating, I'm going
Okay.
to send it. Okay, and you have the PowerPoint presentation, and of course you have the tutorial. Is that clear?
Clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, please, you page 16. I'd like you to work on the synonyms at the bottom of the page. Okay, page 16. Okay. Yes.
Can I do the first?
Yes. Yes, Aya.
Fire,
Fire.
sack.
Good. Next. Three.
Can I?
Yes. Shayma.
Here.
Yes,
Um,
Shayma.
fear, terror.
Yes. Four. Yes. Four.
Defeat. Hurt.
Yes.
Defeat.
Defeat. No.
Failure.
Defeat.
Failure.
Failure.
Failure. Failure. Then. And then five. Five.
Upset.
Hurt.
Yes. Hurt. Yes. Then subordinate.
Employee.
Subordinate.
Employee.
Yeah. Employee. And finally, tactic.
Technique.
Technique.
Technique. Of course, it's a word borrowed from French. Now I'd like you to go to page for collocations. It's a page
19.
19.
yes. Rapidly, you have a set of verbs: set, meet, make, take, and you are going to pick up which verbs goes with the suitable noun. For example, a chance. What do we say?
Take a
A
chance.
chance. Take a chance. Take an opportunity. Take a position. Take a point. Okay. Then deadline. Deadline.
Limit.
No, we say
Meet.
we can say set deadline. We can say set deadline, but a deadline, a need. We say
To meet. Yeah.
meet. To meet a deadline, meet a need. Then a mistake, judgment, profit, etc.
Make.
Make a mistake. Exactly. Finally, set set an example, set an objective, set a precedent, set a limit. Okay. Now you move to the next exercise, and you are going to use the suitable collocation. Shall we work together?
Yes, please. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number one. Yes, number one.
Can I read?
Yes, Lena. Yes.
Are you sure these figures are correct? They look a little high to me. You're right. I think I made a mistake in the calculations.
Yes. Good. Two. Two. Shahir. Two. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Take a chance.
Taken up.
Yes. Take a yes on an unknown supplier. Yes. Good. Three. Three. Yes. Three. Ihab. Yes. Ihab.
They say they absolutely must have the final version by Friday. We'll never be able to meet the deadline like that.
Yes. Like that. Good. Four. Good. Four. Abir. Abir.
It's the first
Yes.
time. It's the first time we've agreed to pay expenses on a project like this. Yes, I know. I hope this won't. Um,
Yes.
won't.
Yes.
Nope.
So I hope this won't
Make a
Make
mistake.
a loss that
make
we'll
a
regret
loss.
later.
Yeah, make a loss that we will regret later. Yeah. Five. Manel.
Okay. I'm not sure if we should sell now or wait until the market improves. Yeah, it's difficult to know which would be the best decision.
Uh,
No, we
which
don't have decision. We don't have
now we
decision.
have to take an the opportunity. Yeah, the best opportunity to take.
To take.
And finally, six.
It looks like
Yes. Yes.
we've used almost all of the budget. Right, we're going to have to uh,
on spending our money.
make a tight journal.
Not make, set a limit, set a tight limit, set a tight
Yeah.
limit, set a tight limit. Okay, so okay, okay. Now I'd like to know your feedback about the course, today's course. Okay, I'd like you to criticize the course. Okay, and to be frank, what could be improved in this online course? Mhm.
I think on real life is better
Yeah,
because there is no eye contact.
it's
Yeah.
good enough. It's good enough for an online class.
Yeah. So for
What
sure,
about the teaching about it?
I personally appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference.
yeah.
Miss, I have a question. Shall we
Yes.
rewrite what is writing in in the presentation?
Okay. Are you talking about the exam? Yeah.
No.
No. Sure. Hadid. Okay. As I said, for the today's chapter, it's the same way. I'm going to send you my version. Okay. And of course, you have the PowerPoint presentation, and you are required to summarize the both lessons together. The PowerPoint presentation plus the course that I will send you. Okay, so the best way is summarizing them together in your way. Okay, maybe you do not have an experience with me. I hate students who repeat what I say. You are required to use your own words, your own way, your own methodology while answering the exams. Okay, so for me, the exam is just a mark. What
Thank you
matters
very
most, what matters most is the background. I'd like you to have a rich background. When you next year, inshallah, when you become third year students, I'd like you to have the plus compared to the other students. Is it clear? For me, the mark
Yes.
is I don't care about the mark. راهي بالحق العدد بالنسبه لي ما نحبكمش تحكيوا لي عليه. نحب سنة نحب نكونكم في البزنس، نحب عام جاي وقت تحاول توازيام اني عندك باجاج في المانجمنت، في الانتربرينوريال سكيلز، في الفاينانس. اوكي دونك هذا هو اللي يهمني. دونك كيفاش نجموا نوصلوا له هذايا الاوبجيكتيف نتاعنا؟ عندكم اول حاجه كما قلت لكم توليوا تلخصوا اللي عطيته لكم اللي موجود في البوكلت والباوربوينت برزنتيشن. اي اون بلوس باش نراو من هنا لغايه باش نزيدكم دي زارتيكل تقراوهم، نحبكم تتعلموا تقراو لي زارتيكل. جاست مينيت، جاست لحظه بربي. يس اوكي دونك واضح هذا بالنسبه للبوان هذايا. دونك الحاجه اللي باش نزيدها لكم السنه هما لي زارتيكل، نحبكم تبداو تقراو لي لي زارتيكل. داكور موافقين ولا؟
Yes, yes.
Yes.
او انتم
We enjoy it.
exactement vous allez mais you will enjoy it. okay so for management عندي برشا des articles في كل managers and leaders. نبعث لكم ارتيكل تقراوا الارتيكل او موان تفهموا شويه ايش معناتها ميثودولوجي، ايش معناتها literature review. دونك هذا باش يعاونكم سورتو الجماعه اللي يحبوا يزيدوا يعملوا ماستر والكل. دونك en plus you will enrich your background. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So,
Clear.
okay, so that's it. Okay, any suggestion? Yes, any feedback?
I want you, Miss. I want you to correct to me these two remarks. So first, I write a leader is not necessarily a manager.
Yeah.
Yes, this is it. Also, the leadership begins when management ends.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay, Hadi, I will send you via messenger everything. Okay, I will send you everything. It is written, and I will send you. And please, you are required to summarize it, and that's it.
I have a question.
Is it clear?
Yes, madam.
You.
Yes.
Can you please send the first chapter on email?
Okay, I will send it via email. Is it better?
Yes, thank you.
Both, please, both.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Both, please.
Okay, so as I said, so it's okay for today. And finally, for our next course will be on Saturday. If there is a possibility of studying Friday night, okay, we will study on Friday night, both groups. Okay.
Okay.
شكون ينجم لنا ينسق لنا بالامور هذه الفنيه؟ كي تحبوا مثلا نهار الجمعه في الليل، شكون ينجم ينظم لنا الامور؟
مادام لو كنت يبعث على جروب واللي يحب هكا يكتب يقول به مريقل.
لا مثلا نهار الجمعه في الليل باغ اكزومبل نعملوا باغ اكزومبل من ديزون مثلا من 8 ل 10 بتاع الليل. نجموا تحبوا هكاك ما خير 8 ل 10 كلكم والا نهار السبت؟ تخيروا
نهار السبت.
Friday night.
دونك تخيروا فرايداي والا ساترداي؟
Friday.
Friday.
Friday night.
No, it's too late. No, if you do not have internet, it's impossible. If you have internet at home, it's possible. Otherwise, it will be. So, are you at the university now?
No.
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 No, we're home.
Okay.
Go, go.
Otherwise, we will have we will stick to our timetable. Okay.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
stick.
Okay.
It's better.
What did you say, Shahir? Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, that's perfect. Okay. Now I leave you and see you inshallah on Saturday. Okay.
have a
Thank
good
you.
Goodbye.
See you.
Thank you.
See you, miss. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Goodbye.